I hope you're happy.
I am happy, definitely. Dumela batho ba ko hae, and welcome to Mommy Diaries, mo e leng hore re bua ka all things motherhood. And of course, Bongi teng on shapa ka di-checks before re bua. Bongi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy to have you. Number one, I'm starstruck because I grew up watching you on TV. Number
Drama.
two, you touched my face, which is a blessing. Welcome to Mommy Diaries.
Thank you. I forgot that I'm even a mummy since my kids are old.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot when you asked me. I was like, what am I going to talk about? Because I don't talk about
You're a
nappies
granny now.
anymore. Yeah, I'm adult mummy.
Yeah. But let's talk about, before we get into the motherhood, let's talk about Bongi Mlothswa. Who is she? Where is she from? Where did you grow up? And how did you become a makeup artist?
Sure. The most difficult thing to actually introducing myself was the most difficult thing because I've always been a server.
Yeah.
So when I have to talk about myself, it's very difficult. But anyway, I'll try.
Yeah.
Bongi Mlothswa, born and raised in Soweto. I lived between my mom, Mfulo, and my grandmother, a White City. And then later, my mom moved, in about 80s, we moved to Hillbrow, High Point. And and I've been in the entertainment business for 30 plus. Was Miss Soweto First Princess 1987. I mean, yeah. So, oh, drama.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's who I am. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother to two husbands that I love and adore so much. They've reintroduced me to loving again.
Now let's talk about the industry. You are a makeup artist you've done beautiful shows. How did that begin? Where did you always love makeup, or you just woke up one day and like, ke batla ho etsa batho makeup?
No, actually, I think I knew that I would end up in the entertainment business for some strange reason. When I entered Umis Soweto, I was interviewed. What is it that I want to do after that? And I said my English wasn't good. I said
Like
I wanted to
mine
make
now.
people's make people's faces, and it was so funny. I only realized it when I was older that, oh my God, did I answer like that? So I think I knew because most girls used to ask me to do their makeup. I used to love color, and I would do their faces for free. So that's where it started. I kind of knew that this is where I was going to end.
What do you love about your job?
I get to reparent other people's children. Yeah, like I get to help people understand their moms. I get to be a shoulder to cry on. I also have kids all over the country because whenever I'm going through stuff, I'm able to go back home. I'm into work and talk to people about it. So it's my happy place, to be honest. Yeah, I love it.
Now, talking about motherhood, let's talk about when the first time you were pregnant and when you had your baby. Did you always wanted to be a mom, or it just happened? Or we always plan, or now one day I'm going to be a mother, or it just happened?
Ooh, actually, you're taking me back. Some of the things only through healing you start thinking about. It changed my life totally. I was 17 and it happened unplanned. It was an older man. He was older than me. And I know I didn't want to do it. And I was a virgin. He forcefully did it. And strangely, through my intuition, I knew I was pregnant the following day because I didn't want to eat. I was feeling yucky. I hated him because I lost my virginity to someone I didn't love. So I ended up not telling him Hori, I was pregnant. And I met someone else who was happy to raise my daughter as his. And strangely, that's how it happened. And thinking about it, it was a sour grapes because my friends were so disappointed that because I knew what I wanted to keep my virginity until I was 21. And and my friends gave me money to go have an abortion. In those days, there was only one doctor in Florida who did it. I went because the queue was long. I slept on the queue,
God.
and I dreamt of a most beautiful baby, chubby, and I walked.
You walked
I
away.
left. Yeah, I walked. I
Wow.
walked away and I went home. My friends were shouting at me.
Yeah.
I was scared. I ran to my grandmother's home. And when I got there, my grandmother looked at me. I don't know how she saw it. She said to me, Umit. And I was like, oh, yeah, Bokoko. I was like, yo, uzongibulalisa ngomama akho. Did you tell her? I'm like, no, I didn't. Strangely, she went to my mom and told her, hey, phela nangumuntu ubalekele kimi and pregnant, mina ngifuna ukuxabana nawe, you know. And my mom came and she said, I'm actually glad you didn't have an abortion because a lot of wrong things happen when people have abortions. Yeah, and the rest is history.
So let's say there's someone out there, a young girl who's 16 years old, and she's watching this podcast and she's torn between deciding. They just found out they're pregnant, unplanned, and they want to decide, should I keep this baby or should I terminate? What advice would you give to that young girl who could be watching this?
It's the most difficult answer because you are not awukho ecathulweni zomuntu at the time. But knowing what I know now, I always say God knows best.
Yeah.
Because you know how you watch your child and you think, wow, this is what I could have ruined. Yeah. So I'd rather you keep it. I know it's going to be difficult. But unkulunkulu agenzi anything angana plan. There's always spirituality says God knows everything. So let's be patient. Yes, you're going to have a draft. It changes your plans. Because I wanted to go overseas. I wanted to do all these amazing things. I had qualified for Miss Black South Africa. It changed the narrative for me. Like everything changed. And all the kids used to laugh at you at school. I was wearing a jersey even when it was hot. And people were teasing me. I was a joke. But because unkulunkulu gives you strength, I'm here.
Yeah. Your story is so similar to my mom's story when she told me that she had her first baby when she was 16. And she told me that Dishomitsai would pass by Kohabona and laughing. Yo, clever mo milling, clever and areloko skolo mamo kenya busula. You know, because she had when I first born high early 16. But when I look at her, I'm like, look at you now. I'm learning so much from you. And I think that's how me and you connected because your story reminds me of her story and how beautiful it is that you guys can share it without being ashamed.
No.
You know what I mean? That she says it like it is. Well, yeah, I was 16, yes.
Yeah.
But it happened. And Leonard was an older guy.
Older guy. And when we tell our kids to not date older guys, they don't listen to us.
Okay, Mamukholo.
Yeah,
so that's
because I think for me, thinking about it, they were manipulative because when someone is older than you, they're very experienced and they're attractive.
Yeah.
I trusted him. I never thought he would do what he did. And the only thing that I think now when I say people shouldn't date older is it's nice to date people your age. I think I missed that. Dating someone my age, we play together, we do fun things together. When someone is older, you grow up faster than your age. So so iqiniso ukuthi asisho ngoba singafuni. Also, I guess from experience, we know it's going to go wrong. But because we love our kids, we choose to be okay with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, talking about why we're here today. So I posted a picture on my Instagram and my caption was something like, I was with my daughter and my niece and I was just talking about how tough it is to have more than one child because I had her for the whole weekend and hey, umpontshitse machina motshehare. And then you wrote something about healing, and people were commenting, sending you DMs, and let's talk about that. Like, how do you, like you were saying, you know, moving forward from the pain you went through in life in general, not just with relationships, because every day we go through pain, whether it's through work, through betrayal, people hurting us, learning from our mistakes. Let's talk about healing.
Ooh, that's a very
Broad, I know.
not even broad. I think it's just a heavy story to get to,
Yeah.
especially for women, because I feel like as women, we go through so much. From when we are kids, we go through a lot, and we are not aware what those things hurt us. And then we carry those things through the years. Every year in, something adds on, and then our brain shoves it back. Something adds on, and then our brain shoves it back. And then one day, you have your children.
Yeah.
And then you have your kid the way I had mine.
Yeah.
Already, there's so much. I'm angry. I'm bitter. I love her. Kodwa, she changed my life. So you start shouting at your kids, hey, siyabachika bantwana. I mean, when I look back and think on, especially my first one, I look back and I'm like, I was really hard on her. Because I also didn't want her to make the same mistakes as I did. But what's unfair is it's her own journey as well.
Yeah.
But I shemnyimchekile shemntanam. Yo.
Oh, but
Yeah, you shout her, you shove her. Only when I look back, I realized good I was broken. I was a young woman who was bitter, and I was raising this amazing child who was so highly opinionated. Like when I look at your daughter, I always think of bekakhuluma kakhulu. Like I used to think, like as you strata song, it was annoying because sometimes it feels like she's stealing your shine.
Eish.
Ganti, you find yourself competing with a soul that has nothing to do with your issues.
Yeah.
So healing is very important for mothers, because for you to be a better mom to your kids, you must be a healed mom.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I had my birthday party. My daughter made a dress for me, and she came at the venue that we were at. She made sure I looked amazing. And she said something that I'll never forget on the day I cried. She said, when I started seeing you heal yourself, you healed me. And you know how you think your kids don't really notice the pain you go through?
Yeah.
And I knew I was doing a good job. Because
Yeah.
when I saw that post on your page, and it just triggered something
In you.
Gimi. And I thought I need to say something. I thought about so many times, but my inner soul kept on saying, you have to respond. And I responded. And the inboxes I got, yes. Then I realized, sitting ukuncedana sabafazi, because it's a lot. And I see young women all the time, especially in the entertainment business. It's difficult raising a child as a single mother.
It is.
You know,
I know
how I feel about single parenting. I help where I can. Sometimes you try and help and then they push you away because they tell you, what do you know? You know, but you know the way they are actually raising their kids. So healing is very important, and forgiving yourself, because you feel disappointed with yourself. You can't do everything. Cabanga yonke into that I had planned to do. I probably would be working in a studio overseas because that's what I wanted. But uNkulunkulu didn't want that for me. Bekafuna ukuthi ngizoba abomama babanye abantwana in the entertainment business, which was a big responsibility. And I love it because at least I get to be in in your journey,
Yeah.
I get to tell you when you're going wrong,
Yeah.
without judgment, and tell you good. You can't even judge yourself because it's beautiful to being a mom. Enjoy it.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how waka the anger. You remind me of it. It's funny now, but when it was happening, it was not funny. After my dad left my mom, so he went and opened a church, right? So ko hae ke kereke ya apostola, and he one day woke up and decided that yena ke mozalwane. And then alo bula kereke ya hae. That's the reason that we knew ho tsametse yona. Ha tsamaya, and then he left. One day he was there, the next he was not. But because I was papa jwalo ka nema, I noticed hore hai man, it's not like now where we sit our kids down and tell them, hore, listen, me and your dad are going through a divorce. This is happening. Obviously, our parents never told us as that or discussed it with us. So I remember today he was there. The next day he was not. He left with things. They shared TV. We were humiliated. We were humiliated. Ne re sena dikobo, re sena TV, a tsamaile ka tsone kaofela. But then one time he came to come pick me and my sister up to visit his church, right? We go, but like he hurt my mom, but I loved him. He used to be very abusive, but I loved him. I don't know why. I still loved him. So I was excited to otlo relata ra kerekeng ya hae mo. Ibile that day ho no wa Holy Communion, ho no wa slallo. Re happy re na cherry. I can le cherry la nnete. Re kutla re tipsinyana hele, we so young. So fine, we get home. Nna sale ke le mo. Mama wa mpotsa, it's amaile jwang kereke? And I could see she's hurt. She's sad. I'm telling her my dad na le mme ha le mme moruti mo. And then I told her hore re jele selallo. My mom got so angry, she started cutting our hair. And then I didn't understand. Ka Friday, I had lepondo. On a Monday now, I was so sad. And now that I'm older, I could have these conversations with her. I asked her, why did you cut our hair? I just didn't know what to do. And I took that anger out of you guys because I was so mad at what that man did to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was no healing there. She was still hurt.
Yeah, it takes long. Imagine I started my healing journey, I think I was at Generations.
Yeah.
That's many years ago. It's probably like 8 to 9 years. And it starts making you such a bad person. And Mina, I know myself. I've got to appreciate myself. I'm a good person.
Yeah.
But when I was there, it started making me, I wasn't feeling good about myself. And I realized, because the space was also toxic, I knew one day I was going to lose myself and it wasn't going to be okay. I woke up one morning and I resigned. There was no reason. My salary was amazing. Career-wise, it was good timing. I left, and then I think a few months later, I got a call to go to Durban, go sebetsa ko Uzalo. Actually, not to work, to train the makeup department. And I didn't realize why God was doing that at the time.
Yeah.
But my healing started there.
Yeah.
I lived in Mlotshwa, beachfront. They weren't pushing me. I could train, leave. So I had time to go inward. And that is after my daughter forced me to go to therapy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean,
I
I don't need therapy. I'll be fine. And she was like, Ma, I'll pay 3 sessions. If you don't like it, it's fine. You can stop. And then I went. And what the therapist said to me, I'll never forget. She said, uyongena ehlathini elimnyama. I don't want to translate it because it won't have the same effect. Uyongena ehlathini elimnyama. All I'm going to do is hold your hand, but you're alone in it. But when you feel like you're drowning, we will stop. And then we get to start again. Boy, was ihlathi elimnyama. But my mom always says, lagumnyama khona, at the end of the tunnel, there is light.
Yeah.
No matter how long the tunnel is, as dark as it is. But the journey yakho uzosiza abantu abaza after wena, because when they go through the tunnel, you'll be able to tell them, ukuthi mawuhamba 1 meter away, there's bricks, mawuhamba la kunamanzi, until they see their way through, easier than you did. And you're able to correct things, ukuthi zingabi wrong, before things go out of hand. So I started my healing journey. It's a long journey. I had to take my power back to some people. I had to acknowledge I was a good person, and it was okay for people to take advantage of me, as long as I don't lose my sanity. So it's a very long journey, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I'm in such a good place right now. If you put your finger in my eye, I'm sure you've seen it on set.
You're not touched.
No.
Yeah.
Because it's the power of healing.
Yeah.
No one can move you.
Yeah.
When they do, you know they are broken souls. So you love them.
So let's say there's someone watching ukamohara isiZulu ehlathini elimunyama. Motho ka hara lehlathi leo le limunyama ha tsebe a qale kae. Maybe they can't even afford therapy.
Yes.
They just had a baby, or they just realize, hore, I'm actually a mad woman. Like, what advice would you give? Where can they start? Like, what? I know it's not like you're a therapist or anything like that, but like, like just judging from what you and now you've went through, what are the steps that one can take to say, you know what? I'm not okay, and I need to heal to become a better mother.
You said a good thing, Lapute. You uyazi ukuthi ufila kanjani wena ne, and you should accept it. And you must acknowledge, like my daughter taught me, it's okay to feel.
Yeah.
Feel it. Acknowledge it. But ingabi uwe, don't turn it into you.
Yeah.
And the power of forgiveness. Forgive. I don't care whether you got molested, you got raped, you got humiliated like most of us have. Forgive. Mawuxolela umuntu ne. It's like, as soon as I acknowledged and forgave everyone and realized maybe at the time I deserved it. Yeah,
when it was happening to
when
you.
it was happening to me, maybe I deserved it. But you laugh. I think about the things that my ex-husband did to me now. I laugh. I'm like, if he never did those things to me, would I be where I am today? Chances are, ungisizile ngokuthi angilahle. But then ngalalela uNkulunkulu, and then I went and I forged ahead. And yes, it was difficult. But firstly, I say, forgive yourself. Forgive the person that has hurt you. Then you take your power back. Then you start working in yourself. I journal. I bought myself a book and I journal. I wrote everything that I went through that I thought was okay at the time, and then I realized now, actually,
this was not right.
This was not right, because we are taught to be strong. That's why ikhona lento bayibiza abafazi bathi imbokodo. I can't stand it.
Mbokodo ke nkana
Ilitshe.
Na ke lejwe
whoever that came with it, bekacabangeni ngiyazi ukuthi bathi abomama abaza nayo ne. But I'm sure ilitshe, you kick it, you do everything. It doesn't move. Iyahlala, ikhali, ayirespondi. I feel like for the longest time you become cold. I had even forgotten I was a woman because bengiyimbokodo. Until a guy friend of mine said to me, "Yo Bongi, you're a man." Because we went out and he asked me out for dinner because he had issues with his wife. And then after that, I wanted to pay. And he said, "Stop being a man."
Hey.
And I was like, "But this is what I'm used to." He's like, "No, angeke uzuthole partner if this is how you..." No, but I'll get a partner that understands. This is who I am. Yes. And with respect, they'll say, "It's okay, babe. I'll take it." And it's okay that I'm a man and I'm a woman at the same
Same
time.
time.
Because that's the
Plus
role.
ubentshebe.
I shut up.
Okay,
Will.
so
Anginayo.
Nayo.
Yeah, so truth be told, it's okay to not be strong.
Yeah,
And it's okay to cry
yeah,
and acknowledge that you're going through a lot. And it's okay to have older friends, something that we never had,
yeah.
Tina, because older friends, angeke sikulahle, sizokutshela iqiniso. You might get irritated because I know a lot of people, I've lost some of my young friends because when I tell them the truth,
Bagwat,
yeah, and I shoot from the hip all the
Yes,
time. I'm sure
yes.
you know that.
I know.
But it's from love.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it from because in J. And I see myself in a lot of you. And in a lot of you, I'm living through my 20s, something that I never lived. I'm living my 30s, something that I never lived at the time. So I'm attracted to younger women that I am women my age because they're too serious for me.
Yeah.
I've been serious most of my life. So
At a
now I
young
want to
age,
live.
To live.
And
Yeah.
and because kata all these things that are beautiful that you're supposed to do, you can't do.
Yeah.
You know, I started hiking. I want to know how to swim. I'm dancing.
Hey, Anna.
Yeah, so I'm doing all the things that I should
That-
have done when I was a younger mother. So remember, even when it happens early, yes, it's your time. uNkulunkulu wants you it to happen to you. Because maybe if izinto zami bezihambe kahle all along, I wouldn't be this humble.
No.
I'd probably be arrogant.
Yeah.
And God didn't want that for me
Yeah.
because when you are a chosen God child, that's who you are.
That's
You
who
come
you
and
are.
serve.
Yeah.
And then you live your life.
Yeah. Now we like about a grandmother. Like, you
Yes.
know, one of the things how do you share by like that we do, including myself, for example, that we do you know, like I know my mom English for example. Like what are some of the things
that's
I know?
me mistress.
How do you share about that? You feel like, oh, like things have changed, you know? But are there any things that when you look at them, you're like, hey, Marabana, no, I Nina.
You know what? I have so many good things to say about you, though.
Yeah.
Your style of parenting, having to talk to your kids, which is something that
You guys never did.
Like
Yeah.
I go to my daughter's home and she reasons with them, and I'm thinking, but then you realize, good, these kids are so smart.
They are.
You don't need to shout at them the way we shouted you. We don't have to slap you.
Hey, little shepherd.
If you had to open cases, I'm
Yeah.
sure the
Mama
government
Mama
wouldn't be
Mama
able to
would have
handle
to
it.
handle yourself
Yeah,
in,
so
yeah.
a lot of it. It's just that I think niyabatetemisa
Got you.
kakhulu.
Yeah.
And my problem is it's gonna catch up when you guys are not there.
Ish.
Because at some point you're not there.
Yeah.
I overcompensated my son after my divorce. I felt like I owed him, you know, because he was the younger one. And I carried him like this. And then I
Because
realized.
he's a boy. Hey,
Yeah.
Nina.
No, maybe not because he's a boy.
Mothers and sons. The relationship is different.
It's a different conversation for another day.
Okay.
Because boys are easy to raise anyway.
Got you.
They're not like you guys, and boys protect us.
Yeah.
You guys are here.
Yeah.
And it's different style of parenting.
Yeah.
And he was slower. As a parent, you get to see it.
Yeah.
The other siblings don't. They think you love the other one. When you can see the other one is weaker than the other.
The other one. Got you.
Until you grow up, and then you're like, oh yeah, now I see. Yeah,
Yes.
so as a mom, you know your kids. You know the strong one. You know their strength
Right.
as they grow. You know this one is going to be the hustler. So they don't need much from you.
Got
And amantombazana, they just generally.
Kibomme.
Yeah, and then bontate generally
Kibana.
bastarach
Yes,
habathoma,
yes.
but later they pick up and they find themselves, and it's a different story for another day. So niti kuri, I think niaba totosa kakhulu, and the English thing very mina. I agree with your mom. Into yesilungu, ish.
Eish.
I feel like ngeke bazazi ukuthi babo
Mang,
bani. But I guess because you guys are world travelers, maybe you do it because when you travel, or if you end up staying in the UK, your daughter should be able to speak eloquent English. But importance yokhuluma language yomuntu, because abantwana mabaye emakhaya and abantwana benu ababingeleli, they don't greet. They walk in and they say hi. Tina, bokawula, like literally everyone. Mawufika kunabantu abadala. So it's those things that where you like, you understand too much. We're like, ujwalo, you know? It's not right. Because then ubuntu biyaqhelelana, it's not gonna be fine. Mase, as black people, singasazazi who we are. So those are just little things, but I think you guys are doing amazing.
I want to able to wear net because Alena, I've noticed what know like how can I not school in the house? And then walk away. No, like hi, iPading.
Ababingeleli nabo auntie, which is it's a shame. Like the person that plays a role to be your mother when your mom is not there. But bulisi. Yabo. And abo mama, they don't see each generation and don't see anything wrong. But to her, your auntie, man, it's fine. And you're thinking, but she's human before she's auntie. So those are basic things that I feel like your generation needs to recalculate and fix.
Got you.
Yeah.
Now going back to what you spoke about having two kids, like knowing the other one is different from the other one. How do you make sure that you do not have a favorite?
I don't think it's...
For a long time, I thought my younger sister is the favorite. I still think she's the favorite.
Yeah, because it's in your head.
Oh, no, it's not in my head. I see it.
No,
I feel like she is the favorite.
Guys, every parent love their children.
Is there such a thing?
The same
Equally.
Way. We pushed. Same department,
no, I get you.
Same exit.
And, is it possible equally?
Is that not enough? It's in your head. You guys create a world in your heads. Because maybe you relate her to the other one better. Or the other one accepts them. Like Mina, I have 2 sets of children. My daughter knows I'm crazy. She understands
that
me.
Side of you.
Instead, she protects me. When someone says, hey, Mama, it's like, maybe your mom is boring, you know? Because that's all I've seen all my life. And my son, when I go crazy, he just goes like this. Because they get me the way I am. Nami, I understand them the way they are. My son is quieter, doesn't talk too much. So when we are in the room, I'm talking more to the girl more than I am to him. Look, when he looks at it, he'll probably think my mom loves her more. But I respect his calmness. Because he's calm, I'm loud. And why God brought these 2 separate beings in my life is to test me. With this one, I have to be patient. With this one, teaches me to love. So it's separate things. And I'm a last born. Maybe bati slow. Do you want to accept good baslo as human beings? They are slower than the other ones. Or maybe vice versa. But I know, my daughter from day one, she seemed like she fought from day one. She walked from there to there. She didn't care. Like I would worry, she wasn't. But Upoyoza, different. Chilled, like chilling like a villain, you know? And everyone judges you as a parent because then they think, gentle gulo. But I know what he's going through. That's why I'm more gentle. Yeah. So sintanda ngokufana.
Okay, now talking about, because I can imagine you grew together with your daughter.
Yeah.
How was that? Because I see my mom and my older sister. You know, and the conversations that they have over the phone.
Can I touch myself up?
Touch yourself up, hey.
I'm sweating, guys.
It
goes with age, apparently.
Menopause.
Yeah.
Or it's hot.
Menopause.
How we can together with your your firstborn, because like you said, you had her young. Was that difficult or was that easy? Because you are a human being before you are a mother, and sometimes I think we forget that hore re batho pele ha re ba bomama, because sometimes like yes, I had nema ke le moholo, but I'm still growing, and there's some of the things that I'm like, yo, ekare ngono nka mo qoqela hore hey
Khwashwiwa.
khwashwiwa.
It's good and bad. Especially with your first ones, ne? You are hard on them. I don't know, for some strange reason.
Yeah.
You are very hard on them.
Yeah.
But as you grow, they become your friends.
Yeah.
They protect you. She motivates me when I'm like, I can't do this. She's like, do you know who you are? Do you remember who you are? Like, she reminds me who I am. She doesn't judge me. She's the one who says, but why aren't you dating? You know, because she's become my friend.
Yeah, but
You
so
know
are
what
you
I mean?
dating?
No.
Stay away.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you become so friendly with each other.
Absolutely.
I can talk to her about things that I would have spoken to her when she was a teenager.
Got you.
Now we can talk about
That's
anything,
beautiful.
literally.
Yes.
And it's a good place to be at with
Yeah.
your kids.
Yeah.
But only you have to heal, guys.
Nice.
You start enjoying these things after you heal.
healing.
Otherwise, ubabita.
Yeah.
And you don't enjoy beautiful things that surround you because you are so bitter, you are envious, you are everything that you shouldn't be.
Yeah. Now, closing off, going back to someone watching and someone who can relate to your journey, what advice would you give them, especially someone who's pregnant? Because obviously, Mommy Diaries is about either you have a child or you're pregnant. What advice would you give them to, especially about healing and especially about those young moms?
Trust the process. Young moms, I think something that they don't teach, I wish they could teach at school, it's self-love.
Yeah.
Love yourself so much that when something makes you feel bad, it doesn't sit because you are so in love with yourself. And be gentle and kind to yourself. I know when you're young, the odds are against you sometimes, but trust the process. Kunesisho, I think it's Zulu. Zulu ase KZN, they'll probably think angisisho kahle, but ke bathi kuba mnyama kakhulu makuzokhanya.
Yeah.
There is ngesuthu.
Hoba lififi haholo pele ho khanya.
Because masingamthembi uNkulunkulu, if we all need to introduce. I know ukuthi we all see God in different formations, which separate us. But one thing that binds us together is God.
Yes.
Maungaba noNkulunkulu kuwe, and when you see me, see God. Because uNkulunkulu usakhe ngaye, life becomes easy. Yeah. Don't judge. No matter how that person okumithisile, no matter what they did, no matter what they're doing, noma umuntu abalekile angamnakekeli umntwana, love him. It's okay. It's up to God ukuthi uzomenzani. Wena ungangcolisi izandla zakho ngokuvula umlomo and say things that you will later regret. Yeah. Love them, forgive them, and allow God to fight for you. Because he's the only person osicreatayo thina.
Yeah.
So thina sinawo amandla ukuthi ngithi Pasi ngathi ungaphenduka ngemoto, because maka ngaphenduka ngemoto ngempela uPasi ashona. Isezandleni zikabani?
Zakho.
So I always say when someone does something to me, I say asingwanaka. So I know it gets so difficult now, pregnant and someone akbalekele. Forgive him. Trust me. I know exactly what happens to people that defy God.
And I guess the same message goes to single mothers.
Yeah.
Who are struggling and trying their best and, going after them. Hey, maintenance support.
Sometimes walk away from it. Like I walked away from it. Because how do you beg someone to take care of their own child? Mina umthandazo wami ngavele ngaguqa ngathi kuNkulunkulu angisena ndoda. you are my husband.
Mthusi.
Trust me. He took care of me
And
to
here you
date.
are.
And my kids,
Bahudile.
bahudile, and they
Yeah.
finished school.
Yeah.
He never paid a dime. And it's okay. I forgave him. I saw him after 20 years. I still prayed for him. And I told my son to forgive him
Yeah.
because life goes on.
Yeah.
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 It's his lesson was my lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can't be bitter and don't stop anyone from seeing their child. Noma ngamsupport, they must see it's their child. Ungancisha umntanakho ubaba. If ubaba khona angafuni ukumbona, then there's
It's
nothing you
different,
can
yes.
do. But if afuna ukumbona noma ngabhadali,
Yes.
ungathi ngoba
Badali,
ubhadali,
you're not
why
gonna
ufuna
see.
ukumbona?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let it be.
I think it's what you said. If you're not healed, then obviously you will be so angry that you will get in the way of that relationship.
Yeah, but then you are ruining your
Your
child.
child,
Yabo?
yeah.
Because you're not aware ukuthi mawumncintsha, because a child needs both their
Yes,
parents.
they do.
Kwala umuntu ayisidakwa ahlala estradeni.
They do.
Uke wababona abaphethe abantwana
Yo.
babo bayabathanda because umntanakho umntanakho.
Yeah.
So naye noma irresponsible as long as avuma ukumbona makambona,
It's fine.
but mangafuna ukumbona then you can't push umntwana ukuthi
Absolutely.
azayolimala ingqondo
Yeah.
ngenxa yomuntu ongamthandi,
Yeah.
yebo.
Yeah.
But wonke umuntu deserves a parent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Forgive,
awesome.
love. It's the name of the game, and trust
And
the
trust.
process.
Forgive, love, and trust the process. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for opening up. And thank you so much for sharing your journey. It's I almost said it's a beautiful story, but it's a beautiful story
Yeah, it
now
is.
that
It is a beautiful story.
you are healed and you are happy
Yeah.
and you're in a good place.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
having
much.
me. You
Yeah.
know,
More
I love
mommy
talking to
diaries.
single moms. So
Go there.
any platform with single moms, I'm there.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
inviting
much,
me.
guys. Thank you.